All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. I'll be able to mute each of you. So, Amber, do you want to kick us off? So, we actually met at one of the winter circles. If you're brand new here and you aren't sure what that is, it's just a thing that we earn to be able to go to our CEO's ranch. Drop a two if you're like, I want to go to our CEO's ranch. It was so much fun. So, we kind of all connected there and we were able to meet each other last month. I think my months are all running together. I'm like, what year was that? I don't even know. So we all met and we just kind of got together. We were like, our teams need to hear from each and every single one of us. So we kind of wanted to collaborate. That's what I love about this business. We don't get anything from each other and by being on each other's Zooms for each other's teams, but we just all love to share and come together. So that's what I love about the heart of this company. It's so one team, one mission. So anyway, we're going to kick it off. Amber, start with us. I know you're going to talk a little bit about mindset shift tonight. So tell us how you went through that mindset shift. We all have pretty much, I mean, just 5-10 minutes, whatever. Like we all have time. So go for it. Tell us all the good stuff.
Yeah. Hi guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So, like Morgan said, I'm going to be talking about like a mindset shift. So, who just put a one in the chat, honestly, and it's going to be kind of geared more towards signing distributors. So, put a one in the chat if you're like, I just can't sign distributors. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm doing all the things. I'm doing the opportunity posts. I'm doing the reels. I'm doing all of the things. Okay. That's your first question. Are you doing all of the things? Okay. Because that's your first step. Okay, so are you doing the reels? Are you doing the opportunity posts? Are you messaging for distributors? Are you asking them to be a distributor after host to post? Are you literally doing all of the things? That's the first question I want to ask you because that is important, okay? But your mindset is just as important, I would say, in signing distributors, in signing customers. In this business, honestly, 80% of it is probably mindset, right? So, and we talk about this all the time, and it was something that honestly, it was just something that clicked. And it's something that, first of all, leveling up your circle is going to help with your mindset. So, being around all these ladies, being at Winter Circle, like just being on Zooms, like after kind of getting home from Winter Circle and just kind of staying close to that fire and just being around all these people, that's going to help your mindset. Okay. It's going to give you a new perspective on everything. Okay. So after I got home from Winter Circle, I was like, okay, like I had to process all this stuff that I learned. And I'm like, why am I not signing the distributors that I want to like sign? And I was like, part of it was comparison. So that was huge for me because I was seeing all of these top enrollers, right? Like I'm looking at Morgan Story, Shay, Rachel Jones, all these people. And I'm like, they're signing like 30 distributors a month. Like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Right. Okay. But was I signing even 4 before? Like, honestly, I don't be honest, put a 2 in the chat if you're like, yeah, I'm signing 30 and like halfway in the month you haven't signed one and you're like, what? You know what I mean? So first of all, you got to be honest with yourself. Okay, you got to be realistic in what you're like, where you're at in this season, right? So for me, I wasn't even signing 4. Sometimes I wasn't even signing my steps to success. I will be completely honest with you. I wasn't even signing 3. But that was a huge block that I had. And I was like, okay, I was looking more at the quantity of people that I wanted to sign instead of the quality of people that I wanted to sign. Right. So a lot of the times we're like, I need to get all these distributors in. I need to get all these distributors in. And you're bringing in these people from like a weird network and they just come in and they don't want to work or whatever. So I think that was like a huge mindset shift for me was quality over quantity. And when I started like really thinking that and I started manifesting it, which I'm not even going to go into that. And I started journaling about who I wanted to bring in my business. And I started being like honest and vulnerable on my stories and actually showing who I was instead of trying to act like Morgan, Shay, Rachel, all of these different people. Then people started coming into my business that were quality people. Okay. And I think that's so important. Like I just signed a distributor. She's on here. Not gonna mention her, but she's freaking killing it. She got her shopping spree in literally 7 days. Like she's on fire. So just know when you have that mindset shift of these are the people that I want to bring into my business. It's more about quality with distributors than it is quantity. And that was just something like, it was something that I had to realize that was holding me back. Okay, because you can't defeat what you can't define. So if you're in this like space of like, what's going on? Like, why am I not signing? Why am I not enrolling? All this different stuff. I want you to act like journal it out. Journal out what you're feeling, because when I journaled it out, I was like, whoa, okay, well, that's it. That's what's stopping me. So, and I got that from winning the war on your mind. So if you're also, if you're thinking like, I'm not signing distributors, I can't sign distributors. Well, it's true, because that's what you're telling yourself. You're not, you have to tell yourself, I am going to enroll distributors. I am going to enroll quality distributors. I'm going to enroll a distributor that turns their shopping spree in 7 days, you know, that kind of stuff. So just know that signing and enrolling is all a mindset shift, but you got to get past that block that you're in right now, because if you don't get past that, you're not gonna enroll. I'm telling you that right now.
That's so good. And I love too, Amber told me that she was getting specific about the distributors that she wanted, the types of people that she wanted to bring into her business, and things that they had in common with her. And that's exactly the type of people that she's in conversations with right now about joining the business. And it's so cool because all she had to do was take the things she was thinking and switch them to things that she wanted. Because here's the thing, whatever you think about, you bring about. So if she kept thinking about the things she didn't want and focusing on the things she didn't want, your focus forms your future. So if she kept thinking about that, that's the direction that she was headed. It's like the rudder of a ship. Whichever way it's facing is the way that it's heading. And so if you want to change the direction that you're going, change the rudder of your ship. That's your mindset. Change that and everything else will change. You might be doing all the work, physically messaging enough people, doing all the posting you're supposed to be doing. If you're not, that's a different story. Okay. But if you are, and you still don't feel like you're getting where you need to go, maybe it's just your mindset and it's a simple shift, because Amber was doing all the things. Like, I can honestly say that she was one of those people who was doing everything, but she wasn't enrolling the people she wanted, or the however many people that she wanted. And it was just a mindset shift. And it went beyond that to being super consistently like specific and consistently speaking out this specific type of people that she wanted. And that's what she's getting. And it's really cool because now her belief has grown. And if I told Amber, I was like, go sign a distributor today, she'd be like, okay, I can do that. And she will truly believe that she can go do it. So go do it. Okay. No, but seriously, what I love about that is that that's where so many of you are right now. Put a 2 in the chat if you feel like that spoke to you. I don't even know what number we're on, so I'm just gonna throw out random numbers this whole Zoom. So put a 2 in the chat if that was what you needed. And here's the other thing. One last thing I want to say about mindset shift on distributors. Some of you have this mindset of, I need to get distributors so that I can promote to Ruby. Okay. That's also the wrong mindset to have, because here's what I want you to think instead. And I'm glad somebody told me this at the beginning of my business, because I thought the same way. I thought I need to get some distributors so I can promote. But one day somebody told me, it was Tiffany Hirsch. She said, if you keep having this mindset of, I need to get DTs, you're never going to sign anybody, because it's selfish. And that's going to come across in the way that you speak to people. It's going to be very desperate. It's going to come across in the way that you post. It's not going to be genuine. It's going to be just hurry up and try to get people. But if you can change your mindset to, I want to see how many people whose life I can change today and how many people's lives I can make an impact on, then you're going to start enrolling people, because it's no longer about you. And it also helps you stay encouraged, because when you're in these conversations with people and they say no, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to this opportunity for now. And you don't feel bad for yourself anymore. It's no longer a pity party of, I can't get anybody to sign up and nobody that I'm messaging is replying back to me and I just can't get any distributors. It's, I feel bad for them because I know what this opportunity is that they just said no to, and they just missed out on a whole lot. And I know what this brings to the table. Do you see what I'm saying? So I want you to change your mindset. And for a lot of you that are newbies on here, and I see so many newbies on here, so welcome first off. And then second off, have that mentality of, whose life can I change today? Okay. All right. Christy Vines. I don't think I can say just your first name. I have to say your first and last name together all the time. So Christy Vines. That I want you to talk about, like you said that you were going to speak on prioritizing this business, talking about beliefs. So tell us all of that good stuff. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I am Christy Vines. Like that's my name. It goes together. I think it's because there's Christy.
Name.
So it's like I got to be both, or I'm just Vines. Stacy just calls me Vines, and that works too.
Yeah, first name to me is Christy Vines.
Yeah, Christy Vines. I'm Christy Vines. Hello, everybody. So yeah, I just, how many of y'all at the beginning of the month, it's like, I don't know what's so magic about the calendar months, but there is like some mind block because of if you're not super new, if you're not super new, you'll get this, but the beginning of the month is charting, goal setting, and it's like it can stop the momentum in a way. And you can get all in your head and it's like, whoa, stop it. But I was talking to one of my leaders about this, and everybody is going to be able to relate to one of these questions. Okay. So one of the questions, if you're brand new and you've thought this, and what I mean by brand new is like, you've joined the business within the last 3 months. If you can relate to this, say me. The question, can I do it? Has anybody ever thought, can I do it? Say me. Okay. Now, if you've been in this business 3 months or longer, I mean, even a year, and you've had some success and you've promoted and you've signed distributors, how many of you have said, can I do it again? Say me too. Me too. Also me. Yeah. So both of those questions come from this place of belief. And really what it comes down to, and I'm just going to be honest, for me, is it's not, can I do it? Because I have a system that works. And if you've been with the business for a while, you know what to do. If you haven't been, your enroller knows what to do and they're going to tell you what to do. So it really comes down to the same solution and the same question that you need to ask yourself. Am I willing to make this a priority? Because I know what it takes to make this a priority. It's not, do I have the time? Yes, I can make the time. If something's important and I believe in it enough, and I know the blessings that can come from it, not just for me, but for my team and the lives that are changed, do I believe it's important enough? Am I going to make it a priority? And so that's the roadblock that I hit almost every single month. It's not, can I do it again? Because yes, I can. I know exactly what to do. It's, okay, am I ready to run again? And Morgan hit on it just perfect. It's the mindset of who can I bring hope and light to? Who can I change their life? Who does God have in my path that I can help today? Not, do I want to put up another gummy post today? Which angle, which side of my face looks better? I mean, you know what I mean? And so you got to make this bigger and you got to get excited about it. And here's the thing. My dad's a pastor and he said this, and it stuck with me when I was a kid. It was fact, faith, feeling. It's the fact that it's true. And for our business, it's the fact that we have a system that's not only duplicatable, but replicatable. It means what I can do and the tasks that I'm going to tell you about in 1 second, I can teach someone to do and they can teach somebody to do. That's fact. Okay. So then the faith is acting in the belief that, hey, it worked for you, it can work for me too. And then the feeling that comes is the belief and the assurance that, hey, I can do this. But don't just wait until you believe that you can. Start moving your feet. Move your feet. Quit talking about it. Quit asking all the questions and watching all the Zooms. Just do it. You're going to make mistakes. Y'all, I thought it was this great idea to sign like 7 DTs and have them all level 1. And before my enrollers figured out I'd signed like all these DTs, like it was past the 72 hours and they had to fix it for me. Like I would rather have ignorance on fire than dull knowledge any day of the week. So just get excited about it. Okay. I'm excited. I'm always excited. You'll find that out about me. But what I love that Amber had said was comparison, and comparison is the thief of joy. But you know what? You got to look up every now and then to see what other people are doing, to see what's possible. You have to be able to expand your vision and your own belief to see that what you thought was the limit of what you can do, somebody else is doing more. And not to have that guilt and shame and feel bad about yourself, but get excited because you can take it to the next level. Okay. But here's what I'm going to challenge y'all to do. Here's my call to action. And this may seem crazy. Okay. But this is what I do. I focus on the tasks, not the results. What do I mean by that? I can get so obsessed by these huge numbers that I've done before that I get stuck in, can I do it again? Instead of just moving my feet. So here's what I do every single day. I post, I message, I interact, I expand my network, I fill up, and I follow up every single day. Every single day. And when I commit to those tasks, right? I'm committed to the tasks. The results are going to come. And yeah, Regina, I see your comment. You can't control the outcome. You may run into a network where everybody says it's too expensive and it takes you time to get out of that network. Does it mean you're not messaging? Does it mean you're not working? You're not a failure. Find your wins. And so believe that you're a winner. Expect that the outcome's going to come, but focus on the tasks. Focus on the tasks. Do those 6 things every single day, and you will be amazed at what's going to happen. I heard, and I'll say this and I'll stop, but I almost quit my business. And I heard a host to post training. I think Amy Spence had done it, but she said, commit to doing host to post for 30 days, not for a day, not for 7 days, for 30 days. Why? Because it takes a while to get momentum. It takes a while to get your pipeline built up. It takes a while to figure out your system of your tracker. So commit to doing the tasks, focus on those tasks, and you're going to look up and you're going to be amazed, because you're not only going to complete your steps to success, you're going to double them, right? Like, you are going to see amazing results happen, but you're not going to be obsessed and, oh, I can't do this. You're going to be excited about it. Be excited about your tasks.
That's so good. I love that. And put a 3 in the chat if you feel so free now feeling that and hearing that, because whenever you think about doing the tasks, people always ask me, how do I know that I've done enough? And I always say, if you've done your 6 list as much as you can. So like, if you want to message 30 to 50 people and that's how many you can message, and that's like your go-to, and that's what you've done, and you've had a really busy day and you're like, oh my gosh, but I didn't enroll anything and now it's time to go to bed. Like, can I go to bed? I always say, if I know that I did everything I could that day and I got my 6 list done, and I feel like I can pat myself on the back, I got in good conversations, whether I enrolled anybody or not enroll anybody today, but I got in some really good conversations, and I know I have some new potentials, people that I know will order eventually. I feel good about today. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. I'm going to go to bed. You know what I mean? So I love that so much. And it also helps you to find like the little wins along the way, because give yourself a goal. Say, I'm going to get in 5 conversations today, 10 conversations, 15 good conversations. And it doesn't matter if you enroll anybody, because you know that you will from that. You're going to reap the benefits. It's pretty black and white. Do the work, you're going to see the reward, but you will get caught up in the results that you stop doing the work. And that's where you miss the mark. But if you can stay consistent by focusing on the tasks, you'll want to keep doing the work, which is going to get you the results. And it takes time and it takes consistency. So don't feel like you're going to come in and be enrolling as much as your enroller does. She's been here for longer. I've been planting seeds for 6 years. So don't compare your enrollments to mine. You've been here for 6 days. I've been here for 6 years. Of course, I'm enrolling more people than you. I've talked to a lot more people than you. You know what I mean? So give yourself that grace. Fall in love with the process. I love that, Stacey. Okay. So, and I love whenever you're saying like, get excited. It's funny because the people on the Zoom with their cameras on are the ones I'm like, they are the most excited. I know some of y'all can't turn your cameras on, but I always say, unless you're doing something illegal or you're naked, turn your cameras on, because, and so go ahead and do that. But I feel like the ones who are like this on the Zooms, they're the ones who promote that month. The ones who, like Stevie, I'm looking at Stevie right now. She's been like this whole time, like taking it all in. Stevie's going Emerald this month. She was so close to Ruby last month. She's like, screw Ruby. We're going to hit Ruby like halfway through the month. We're going Emerald. That's how I can tell who is promoting, who is excited. Becca, Brooke, I see y'all with your cameras on. Y'all are the ones that are going to be excited. So get that excitement. Also, share this on your Instagram story. Tell everybody what we do as a team. And I'm going to talk about it too. I just took a video. If you didn't see me, I was like smiling like an idiot for about 20 seconds. And I was just like, on my video, but I'm going to talk about, you have help when you join me. We have fun whenever you join this business. So talk about those things. That gets people excited. And then it also gets you excited too. Okay, Robin, that's okay. You don't have to turn your camera on, but I'm just saying, if you can do that. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to share my story really quick. And my tip. So my tip is about planning ahead. If you're on my team, I went live about this. I talked about this. I talk about this all the time, especially if I enrolled you. You've heard me talk about this. And what I love is, I'm going to shout out one of my new girls, JC Corley. She just messaged me earlier today and she said, I'm trying to plan out my posts for the week. What's a good tip? Like, what do I need to do? So I gave her some tools that we have available on our team, but JC is like literally joined in the last week. And I was like, planning out your stuff. Yes, ma'am. bam. Yes, I love it. That is what we do because, and she's on here tonight, but that is what we do because it makes your life so much easier. And I don't care how busy you are or how not busy that you are. Planning ahead makes everything easy. And I know people, because I'm pregnant right now, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, things are going to change so much whenever you have your baby. And I'm like, they are, but they're not, because I'm still just as disciplined as I was before. And I plan ahead. So I'm already planning for what it's going to be like whenever I have my kid. So I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I know that I'm going to have times where he sleeps. I'm going to have time where he eats, and I'm going to have time where I change his diaper. That's pretty standard, right? Okay. So I know if I can plan ahead that those things are going to happen, I can figure out when I can work this business in, because it's not optional. And I have made it a priority, like what Christy's talking about. So it's not a matter of if I'm going to work my business when I have the baby. It's a matter of I get to stay home because of this business. So when I have my baby, it's that much more important that I make it a priority. And so it's just a mindset shift. But one thing that I do, and I don't want you to feel like you have to be this organized planner person naturally to do this, because some of you have already tuned me out because you're like, I thrive in chaos. Okay, well, here's what I want to do. Okay, I want to challenge you to just listen to what I have to say and apply it to your life in a way that fits you. Okay, because whenever I do this, it's going to look different than what you do, but it can still work for you if you plan ahead, whatever that looks like. So it might not look the exact same like formula the way I do it, but you can still do this. So this is my planner. This is Tuesday. Today is Monday. This is Tuesday. I've already written out my stuff for Tuesday, and my mom and I were talking today. My mom's here in town. She's here from Mississippi, or well, Tennessee is where she lives now. But anyway, so she's here still on Zooms. This is a priority to me. And I told her, I said, Mom, I have Zooms for 2 hours on Monday night. She said, oh, good. I get to go to bed early. Like, she doesn't care. She's in there finishing The Bachelorette that we started watching when we were eating dinner. Like, she's fine. But we get to have the whole entire rest of the day, and I've never had to clock into a job while she's been here. I've got to spend every single moment with her until tonight, just doing whatever we wanted. So that to me is not even a sacrifice, right? Like, I'm happy to do that. And so tomorrow we're going to work on a bunch of different stuff. And she was like, well, what do you have going on? Like, we can do this at 9. I said, well, I have a power hour from 8:30 to 9:30. Then what do you want to do? And she was like, oh, perfect. We should do this and this. So she's fine. Like, you just have to make this a priority. But I knew ahead of time, I've got to get my stuff done in the morning, and then we can have the whole rest of the day to do whatever we want. At the pool today, whenever we were just hanging out there, we weren't talking. I was checking my phone. I was checking messages. She started talking to me. I put my phone up, like I was able to do that and do both. Gotten so many good conversations today, but I planned ahead. So what I do is I write my stuff down on my planner. This is just my 6 list. Amber, will you put the 6 list in the chat for those people who are new? So this is the 6 list. It's just what you do every single day. So no matter what, I'm going to find time to do this, whether it's in an hour chunk in the morning, or if it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes here and there throughout the day. Figure out what works best for you. Some people, I feel like Becca, I think, likes to get hers kind of done choppy throughout the day. I don't know if that's right, but I feel like you kind of do. That would drive me nuts. So like, I do not do that. But Becca also has 2 kids, and she has a lot of things going on in her life right now. She might not have an hour in the morning like I do, where I sit down and get all my stuff done throughout the day. So we do things differently, but do we both still get our stuff done? Yes. But do we both have to plan ahead? Yes. So don't feel like your method has to look like mine, but just make sure that you're getting your stuff done, that you're figuring out what your system is that works best for you. And make sure that that 6 list that Amber just put in the chat, that you're getting that done every day. And if you need to look ahead, so I plan the night before for the next day, because I always feel like my morning is going to be great if I can start it tonight. So I start my morning at night. I get everything prepped and ready for the next day. So I'm figuring out, okay, well, what does my day tomorrow look like? Okay, well, I have to pick the kids up at this time. I have a track meet. I have to do this. I have that. I have to go get my oil changed and this and this and this. Oh, I'm going to have to wake up an hour earlier, because otherwise I'm not going to have any time to get my stuff done. Do you see how if you woke up in the morning and then realized that you needed to wake up an hour earlier, how much that would throw your whole day off? Well, now your time owns you instead of you owning your time. Because here's the deal. A lot of us feel like we don't have time to do the business, but you just aren't making the time to do the business. And I'm just being honest with you, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And there are people on here, Elisa, she's pregnant with her 6th kid, okay? And she makes time for this business. She has a busy schedule. She has a lot of life going on, but she still makes time, and she's been able to buy an RV for her family. So now they get to do that. They built their dream or bought their dream home. She's bringing her husband home from his job, all because of this business, but she makes it a priority. She shows up when she doesn't feel like it. She plans ahead and she knows what her days are going to look like. And so even if you're not a planner, look at your day ahead in advance so that you know what you're going to have to do to be able to fit this business in and what that's going to look like. And so then you're not leaving it up to chance, because if you leave it up to chance, chances are it's not going to get done. So don't leave it up to chance. Figure out what that's going to look like. And on weekends like this is why I was talking about this so much to my team, was because of the 4th of July. I knew what that was going to look like. I always take my Sabbath on Saturday, but I said no, because the 4th of July is on Sunday. No one's going to reply back to me, even if I don't do my Sabbath on that day. So I switched my Sabbath to Sunday. That's the only time in a year I've switched my Sabbath, but it made sense. Why would I do it on Saturday and then also have a day off on Sunday? So I wanted to have that day off on Sunday. And then on Saturday, I was working, I was doing all my stuff. I stayed in my bed, got all my stuff done. And by the time I came out, my mom was like, do you need me to do something so you can go work? Because she knew, because I told her my schedule in advance so that she knew what to expect. So communicate that with your family, communicate that with your husband, communicate that with your kids if they're old enough to understand what that means. So I told my mom, and she said, do you need me to do anything so that you can go work? And I said, I already got it done. She said, when? I said, in my bed, because I knew exactly what I needed to do. And I took my stuff in there. And before I even came out, because I knew if I came out, I was going to have my attention given to other people. So I planned ahead. So it didn't come naturally to me. I'm not naturally that much of a planner. Ask Brooke, okay, because she knows. Ask anybody that's ever been on a trip with me. Am I a planner? No, not a planner. But when it comes to my business, I am, because I know that if I don't run my time will run me. And I refuse to let that happen, whether it be now when I don't have kids or later when I do have kids. I know that if I plan my time, then my stuff is going to get done and I'm going to be less stressed. I'm going to enjoy this business more and it's going to be more fun for me. Okay. So it's going to be, yes, you're so much less overwhelmed, Rebecca. You need to do this because you're going to feel so much better. I promise you, when you start planning ahead. So I want to challenge you tonight after we get off this Zoom, figure out what your day tomorrow looks like. Figure out what tomorrow looks like and see what you need to do to fit this business in. And it might look different day to day and your work schedule might change every single day, but you know that you're going to get this business done. Okay. So we're going to go to the next person, which is Natalie. So Natalie is going to just chat with us a little bit about plugging in, staying close to the fire, which I think we all really need, especially now in the summer. We do have some events coming back, but I think it's really important to make sure that we are staying plugged in, which is what y'all are doing right now, and staying connected, because it can feel isolating sometimes, especially if you live in an area where you don't know a whole lot of people doing this business. So making sure that you're staying close to the fire, and this would be perfect by doing stuff like this. So Natalie, tell us about that.
Hey, you guys, I'm Natalie Emerson. Super excited to be talking about this tonight. So this is something that is just near and dear to my heart. And it's something that I started from the very beginning of my business. This August, I will have been in 4 years. So that's super exciting and it goes by so fast. But put a 1 in the chat if, I don't know what number we're on, but put a 1 in the chat if you have ever been discouraged in this business or you have felt burned out. Exactly. Look at all the ones going up. Or you felt like, oh, this isn't for me. I cannot do this. I'm not Morgan. I'm not Christy. I'm not Stacy. I'm not cut out for this. Yeah. Guess what? Every single one of us, every top leader in the company, everybody has felt like that. And I can promise you, if you're feeling that way and you're feeling that on a daily, regular basis, and you're getting to that point where, ooh, maybe I just need to take a step back from that, you're probably not staying plugged in and you're probably not staying close to the fire. So be honest with yourself and think about it for a second. Think back to a time, or maybe it's going on right now, when you were really down in the dumps with your business and feeling like you're not cut out for this. How plugged in were you? Were you committing to get on Zooms like this? I mean, I may be preaching to the choir right now. I kind of feel like I am because you guys are here and you're showing up and it's a Monday night and it's late. But I know we've all felt like this at some point. So one thing that it is going to do for you. And being plugged in can be a lot of different things. It can be power hours, throughout the week. I know I'm not sure Morgan's schedule for power hours for their team, but I know on our team we have at least 2 on every single day of the week that are on the calendar. They're going to happen regardless of anything else that's going on. So that can be a power hour. It can be, a Zoom like this with some leaders just share their tips. It can be a YouTube training video that, somebody, Morgan Martin, has put together. I can't tell you how many training videos I've watched that Morgan's done or that Claire Flores has done. Whenever I got started, Claire Flores to me was just the queen. And I watched videos that she did every single day. And I started to realize, as gorgeous as she is and as amazing as her social media looks all the time, she has moments where she, doubts her ability to do this business and if she is good enough for it and if, she can really be successful. But the way that she combated that was staying close to the fire and staying plugged in. So when you see that people that successful feel those things, you're going to hear about it and you're going to hear those battles that they face when you get on stuff like this. And you're hearing from other top leaders and you realize, oh my word, if Morgan has felt those same things and experiences those same, discouragement and burnout, then, maybe this is for me because I feel that exact same way. Staying close to the fire, jumping on Zooms like this, that's one thing that it has always done for me, is that it helps you realize that you are not alone and that there's nothing wrong with you. Kelly Brown tells us this all the time. She's on our team and y'all have heard from her, but she's amazing. She's so good about helping you realize that there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that you don't have that you need to be successful in this business. And I know just being in social media marketing or network marketing, we hear no. I mean, it's a part of the business. We read books about, how to deal with no, because you're going to hear that more than you hear yeses. Go for no tells us that, gives us a good illustration on how to deal with no and realizing that no isn't a bad thing, but you hear it a lot. And if you're not plugged into stuff like this, and realizing that, okay, it's not just me that hears no all the time, it's a part of the business. There's nothing wrong with me, then you're going to quit. I mean, Christy Vines was just telling us she was at a place just about a year ago where she was thinking she was ready to quit the business, that this was not for her. Had she not jumped on a Tips from the Top or a Zoom with Amy Spence talking about Host a Post and Give It 30 Days, she probably would have quit her business and she wouldn't have been one of the top leaders in the entire company a year later. And that happened because she hopped on a Zoom. She's staying close to the fire. So realizing that there's nothing wrong with you, you can do this, just like anybody else. Another thing that it's going to do is help you have belief. So you can't sell a product, you can't sell this business if you don't believe in it. And just like Morgan was saying earlier, what post am I going to put up about gummies today? Or, or Christy was saying this, what selfie am I going to post about? This business is so much more than that. And whenever you're on stuff like that, like this, you realize it can change your life, and you're hearing from other people talking about how it has changed their life. And you start to buy into that and you start to really believe in this organization and believe in the company and how amazing this company is. That's only going to happen when you're hearing from other people. So if you're not on stuff like this, you're not hearing from other leaders, it's hard for you to see the big picture and to see that It Works is an incredible organization. There is nothing else out there like this. And if you don't have that belief, then other people aren't going to buy into what you're doing. So people have to buy into you before they buy into what you're selling or before they're going to buy what you're selling. And that's going to come whenever you're hearing from other leaders and you're seeing other people talk about how it's changed their lives. So are you staying plugged in? Do you have belief? So if you want to be successful, here's the key. If you want to be successful in this business, pick 3 to 4 things every single week, put them on your calendar and schedule your business, schedule your day around those 3 or 4 things. And don't don't make them negotiable. So like I have a couple power hours that are non-negotiable for me. I'm going to be on those power hours. We have a team tips from the top that is a non-negotiable for me. I'm on that Zoom every single week. Being in the business 4 years, I still learn things that still hear things that, you know, tips that I would never have known before. That's how I learned how to do everything in this business, was from jumping on those Zooms. So make it a commitment. Decide right now, what are the 3 or 4, pick 3 to 4. If you want to be successful, you have to be on stuff like this. So pick 3 to 4, put them on your calendar and make it a non-negotiable. Plan everything else around it. And I promise you, if you do, you're going to keep that discouragement at bay. It's not that it won't show its ugly head and it's not going to come back. It does come back, but the way that you're going to combat it is staying close to the fire and hearing from other people that are going through the same things you're doing. Don't isolate yourself. Stay close to the team, stay close to the leaders, but also don't depend on your upline to motivate you, because that is not their responsibility. That's going to come from you jumping on stuff like this and motivating yourself and inspiring yourself. Don't depend on Morgan to do it for you, because she's going to disappoint you. Your leader is always going to disappoint you. Learn to motivate yourself. When you're feeling down, jump on stuff like this and make it a priority in your business.
Amen. Oh my gosh. Put a 4 in the chat if you have decided now that you are going to make this a priority. Showing up, getting on these Zooms, making this a priority, staying up late. I know some of you are sacrificing sleep right now, but normally you would be asleep if this is a Tuesday or a Wednesday, but you're here and I'm so proud of you for that, because I always tell people, and I used to tell myself this, I'm never going to regret the work that I put in. I'm only going to regret the work that I don't do. And you're going to be thankful in a year from now. In a year or 2 from now, yourself is going to thank this 2021 you for showing up on the Zoom tonight, because it's going to be a time where you can look it back and say that your business changed because you showed up here. And so I'm super excited that y'all showed up and got on this tonight, because that's exactly what she's saying. So often we can start looking at our business through a straw. And like, what I mean by that is, if you look through a straw, what can you see? Only what you stare at. So if you actually start looking at this business with this big perspective, you gain that when you get on these Zooms, and you can start seeing the community here. And one thing I wanted to say too about like the getting discouraged thing, I want y'all to think about that in a different way. Instead of being like, well, I feel discouraged and maybe that's just not for me, I want you to look at that and say, I feel discouraged. Why? Because I want this so bad and because I care so much. And I think that that's pretty cool, because if you weren't discouraged, it would mean that you didn't really care. Like, oh, well, it's just not working, like whatever. But if you're showing up and you feel discouraged, and I just thought about that, like I feel like the Lord kind of showed me that, because I know I feel discouraged sometimes, and it's only because I care and I want it so bad that I feel discouraged sometimes because I'm not getting there. But I also know that I can't live in that. I can't live in the discouragement. I have to let it be a moment, not a season. And in that moment, I remind myself, you know what? Stacey's been discouraged and she's here. Christy's been discouraged and she's still here. If Tessie can still show up in her moments of discouragement, I can still show up. And so know that it's normal, know that it's a part of this. But I love what Natalie said, because if you surround yourself with other people that remind you that it's normal, then you will let those things be a moment, not a season. You will show yourself that you can do more than you thought was possible, because you saw Natalie was able to do it. You saw Amber was able to do it. You saw that I was able to do it. And so I love that so much. Okay, Stacey's going to talk to us about consistency in our business and just showing up, not just doing post to post, but doing all the things.
Hey y'all, I'm Stacey Hansen. I'm so excited to be on here with y'all. I love all these girls, and I love that we all bring something different to the table. So I do want to talk about consistency. I want to start with this quote: "Consistency may not be very glamorous, but geez, is it effective?" I saw that online today and I was like, gosh, man, that is a truth bomb right there. Consistency breeds more consistency, right? When we do it, hi, Amber. And when we do it, and we do it again and again and again, it becomes a habit. Then we start to see more and more and more results, right? So part of being consistent is falling in love with the process. And Stacy Akala is one of the ambassadors on our team, and she is amazing. And she always tells us to fall in love with the process. And back in January, I had fallen out of love with the process. I was just doing all the things. I was being consistent, but I was not being consistent with belief like they were talking about. And so I had a mindset shift. And boy, did that change my business. Now I'm consistent and I know that I'm building a pipeline of loyal customers. I'm building a pipeline. I've planted seeds for all these distributors. I had a girl the other day join, I'd been talking to for 6 months. And she was like, I know we've been talking for so long. She was like, I'm so sorry. I keep asking questions. I was like, girl, you're going to join when you're going to join. And that it is what it is. I am not a pressure person. And she ended up joining, but the things you do today are setting you up for a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years from now. That's why Morgan is so successful. She's been in so long. She's done these things for so long. She's still reaping benefits from 4 years ago. And that is part of being consistent. Consistency is a beautiful, beautiful thing if you do it correctly. So I wanted to read you a couple things that I read and then I just kind of was thinking about. And this one says, you should always push through and be consistent, because in the consistency is where I can guarantee you will be successful. And it, like I said, it may not come tomorrow. It may not come in a week, but in a month, you're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, if I had just not been consistent for the last month, I wouldn't have signed this many loyal customers and this many distributors. I wouldn't have been able to help this many team members. Consistency is just so important. And then next is be consistent when nothing seems to be happening. Like they said earlier, I feel like I'm repeating what they said earlier, but it's so true. Like, even if nothing's happening, which for me, I'm very red. I'm as red as they come. And I'm very intense, very high energy. So for me, if nothing's happening, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to do 10 times as much as I'm doing. And then something's going to happen. And I mean, that's just what I do. That's just me, but not everybody works that way. Sometimes you have to be okay with being consistent and nothing happening right then, and know and believe that it's going to happen in a week or 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months. The next thing is you got to take the emotion out of it. Are you going to get up some days? You're going to feel like, hey, I don't want to do host to post today. Well, but do you want to be consistent in your business? You got to take the emotion out of it. You're going to have hard days. You're going to feel like not doing it. You know what? Set your timer for 10 minutes, get your 30 host to post asks out, and stop for a minute and take a break. You can check them later, or you can check in with the people later. Set timers. Like, being consistent does not mean you have to sit there for 5 hours with your face in your phone, Like Morgan said, timers are her best friend. Like, I love a timer, but I also am super huge in keeping a tally mark. I literally, when I send host to post asks and I send distributor asks and I'm interacting with people, I am keeping a tally mark to make sure that I am doing the numbers I need to do. And I am consistent in that every day. My husband's like, why do you have a page full of tally marks? Because I'm keeping count. That's why. Because I know like the numbers that I want. I know the numbers I need. So, and next, so take that emotion out of it. Take the emotion out of it. When you're not feeling the best, it's okay. You can still do it and just be done with it. Okay, so next is be consistent after you've had a huge rush and things seem to slow down. So for me, that's always like the 1st through the 9th is crazy. The 10th through the 20th is not. And the 20th to the 30th is cray cray. And that's fine. But even the 10th to the 20th, I'm still signing people. It's just not multiples a day like it was. And that's fine. I've got time to update charts. I've got time to pour into my new DTs more. And being consistent means that when you do have that little time of a slowdown, your consistency is going to pay off because you're still going to be enrolling. So then the last thing I want to leave you guys with is Consistency allows you to invest daily in your future. And by that, I just mean, like I said a while ago, like when you are consistent, you are going to have stuff coming in. You're going to build that pipeline, and people that weren't ready 6 months ago are going to be ready now. So consistency is such a huge key. Everybody always asks me, how are you successful? And my answer is always consistency. So I know Tessie's going to talk a little more about consistency in Host to Post, but mine is just consistency in your business overall. You have to post every day to show that your doors are open. You've got to ask people to join this business. Most of the people on my team would not be in this business if they had not been asked. So do the things, be consistent, and I promise you, God will reward your efforts.
That is so good. And so often we ask the Lord to bless like our business, but I feel like he's saying, I can't bless the work that you don't do. In the Bible, it says, bless the work that we put our hands to. You got to put your hands to work, boo-boo, and then he'll bless that. He's not going to bless just you not doing anything. He's going to bless the work that you put your hands to. So being consistent, I love that you mentioned to take the emotion out of it, because guys, I know that it seems like I just want to wake up and work this business every day, and that I jump out of this bed and have birds fluttering around me, and I'm just like, let's go work this business today. Like, and that's not me. Like, y'all, I don't always want to work this business. I've had crap happen in the last 6 years. Literal crap happen in the last 6 years of my life. Things that have been great, but things that have been really hard, and I've still shown up. And that's why I am where I am. And so what drives me crazy is that I hear so many people say, I would give anything to do what you've done. I would give anything to be where you are. And I say, but would you really give it anything? Because if you saw what it took to get here, it did take effort. It did take work. It did take showing up whenever I didn't feel like it. And if you're willing to do that, you'll be wherever you want to be in this business. You'll be further than I am. You know what I mean? Like, you can do anything, but just know that just like anything else, it requires time. It requires that sacrifice, and it's a short-term sacrifice for long-term benefits. Live how others won't, so that later live now how others won't, so that you can have later what others can't. And so I choose now to show up and do those things, so that I can also do other things and say yes to the bigger things when I say no to the smaller things. I said no to finishing The Bachelorette tonight with my mom, but I get to say yes to spending the entire week with her without having to ask off of work. I choose that. You know what I mean? So I love that. Okay, last but not least, we have Tessie, and she's gonna talk about Host Post. She has signed 12 customers already. Holy crap. Put a 5 in the chat if you were like, give me all the tips. How did you sign 12 customers already through Host to Post? Holy crap. That's so many bonuses. By the way, if you get 5 customers this week by the end of Friday night at midnight Central Time, then you get $100 bonus extra added to your commissions. I don't know about you, but I'm going for that $100 bonus. I've already got 4 customers. I need 1 more for this week. And then I got my bonus last week. I am running for this. So Tessie, tell us what to do, because we want to know all the things.
Okay, hi you guys. Okay, so I am so excited, and this has been so good. And we kind of all had different topics, but they all kind of lead into the same thing: consistency, mindset shift. It's all the same. And for me, I always had a really, I don't know, some days I have bad mindsets, but I always wake up kind of like Morgan was saying, some days I don't feel like working. I just don't, but I still do. I decided when I joined this business 2.5 years ago that I was going to do whatever it took to earn an easy $200 to $300 a month. That's all I wanted. That's it. But I still decide today to wake up and do what I have to do to earn an extra $200 to $300 more than what I earned last month. Because why not? Who doesn't want a $200 to $300 a raise every single month? We get the choice to make that up. We get to decide to do that. You get to decide if you get a raise, if your check stays the same, or if your check goes backwards, by the tasks that you do every single day, the consistency that you bring month to month and day to day. So for me, I always sit back and think at the beginning of the month, okay, what's going to get me excited? And it's having those small goals and those big goals. So the small goals that you can work for, like this week, okay, can you go and sign 5 LCs and earn $100 to go get your nails done or pay for your gas if that's a struggle for you. What are you struggling with right now, and what will that $100 do? Because right now you can wake up every single day looking forward to earning $100. That's huge. That's an extra $400 this month. So have those small goals for that $100, and then what's your big goal? And for me, that's always been something that I keep reminding myself every single day to keep getting up and doing Host to Post consistently, because some days I just don't feel like doing Host to Post. I do Host to Post when I'm sick. I do Host to Post when my kids are sick. I do Host to Post when we're on vacation. I don't miss a day. And no, I don't take a Sabbath. I'm trying. I'm getting there. Morgan, don't roll your eyes at me. I'm trying. I really am trying. Okay. But I do it every single day. I don't miss a day. Because if I worked a 9 to 5, I wouldn't be able to miss a day. I wouldn't get paid for not going into work. You get to decide. So I always sit back and think those goals. And then I want you to think right now, are you excited with your business? And be honest. You don't have to put it in the chat if you want to. Great. Are you excited right now in your business? And if you're not, what creates excitement? Enrollment. What creates enrollment? Host to Post. How do you get Host to Post up? Sending out messages. You don't have to have a crazy system. You don't have to have my system. You don't have to have Stacy's system or Morgan's system. You just have to send out the messages and do it. That's all it takes, is being consistent at sending out the messages. And I know right now on our teams, we're really loud about sending out messages twice a day, 35 messages 2 times a day. Seriously, I time myself every single time because I want to make sure my team knows how long it takes. And it takes me maximum 15 minutes to send out 35 messages. You guys, 15 minutes. It's not long. It seems long. It seems longer than that when you're sending out the messages. I will be honest. I'm like, man, how did that only take 15 minutes? But that's all it takes is 15 minutes. And I know one month I was comparing with Christy, and she was only sending out, 40 messages maybe, and getting up 10 plus. And I was sending out 100 messages and only getting out 7. It's a numbers game. And kind of going back to, I forgot who said it, but you can't compare. Find the numbers that work for you. Start with sending out, rounds of asks for Host to Post, going down, your friends list and stuff like that. And I know, we're all on kind of different teams and we have our own systems, but you guys, it's sending out messages. That's all it is getting people to post for you every single day. And I know 2 months ago, it took me kind of like the Amy Spence, it took me 2 full weeks of sending out 100 messages. 25 increments is what I was doing 2 months ago, sending out 25 messages 4 times a day to get 100 messages out. I did it for 2 weeks straight, and I was frustrated because I didn't see anything coming from it. And I was like, what in the world? But after that, within 15 days, I signed 35 customers because I was consistent. I didn't give up, and I stopped. It was kind of hard not to compare, but you have to at some point stop comparing and just keep going for yourself. You have to keep being consistent, because if you're doing the work, it's going to get blessed. Yesterday for 4th of July, I was like, man, I don't know if sending out messages is smart, following up is smart. Like I don't know which way to turn right now because it's a holiday and I kind of want to enjoy it too. I signed 4 customers yesterday because I was so consistent the day before, the week before. And some of you can be consistent with Host to Post right now for 4 days and you can see the boom from it. And some of you, it might take 2 weeks. But is signing even, maybe you're just getting started. Can you sign 10 customers this month? And that's worth being consistent those 2 weeks or the 4 days. It's still going to grow your business. But it's deciding, it's waking up every single day and just doing it. The days you don't feel like it, the days you're sick, because we still get to do this business from home and have the opportunity for me to earn more than I ever could have made at any kind of job for me, because I didn't finish college. So I get to work this business while I'm sick or my kids are sick and still get to earn way more than I ever could have imagined or thought was possible for me. And the same can happen for you. I'm no one special. None of us are anybody special. We're just doing the tasks consistently. It's not Host to Post works for some and not the others. It works if you work it consistently every single day. It doesn't choose, I'm going to work for Stacy and not Tessie this month. No, it's working for us because we're consistently doing it. And that's always what I tell my team. It doesn't work for some and not others. It works for all if you're working it. There's plenty of people to post for us. There's plenty of people to sign up as customers and teammates, but you've got to do the job. And the days that you don't feel like doing it, I promise you, if you get the job done, you're going to be blessed because you didn't feel like doing it and you still did. You still pushed through even though you didn't feel like it. And he's going to reward you for it. Maybe not right away, but he will reward you for it. And I think that's all I had. I was trying to talk really fast because I didn't want to go too long over.
No, you're good. I don't think any of us minded. That was amazing. And I want y'all to know too, like this goes back to whatever somebody said about comparison. Maybe it was Natalie, and she said that you can't compare. Like whenever you hear those things, you can either do one of two things. Wow, Tessie signed 12 customers. That'll never be me. Or wow, Tessie signed 12 customers. If she can, so can I. And that's what I took from it. So I want you to take away from that, wow, if she can do that, me too. And the only thing blocking me is this right here. This is the only thing that's stopping you. So I want you, with everything that's been said, show up, be consistent, get your host to post up, make this a priority, have that mindset shift. But it all starts here. And I want you to go into your tasks tomorrow, plan ahead tonight or Tuesday, and decide, okay, not only am I going to send out my messages, but there is going to be fruit from that, because the Lord and God in his word says, my word never returns void. So every time before I do my work, I pray and I say, God, you say that your word never returns void. I want this work that I do to not return void. And I want you to give me like to bless everything that I do and multiply my efforts by 10%, like by 10 or whatever, and give me that back. Like whatever I do, multiply my efforts. And so every time that I send out 10 messages, I get those hosts to post up. And whenever I send those 35 messages, I get those customers, I get those hosts to post up. So I want you to think about that before you're sending these messages. What's your mindset? Oh, I'm not going to get any messages up. Nobody's going to respond to this. Watch, I'll show you. I'll prove it because I'm going to send these messages. Okay, well then you're right. But I have the mentality of I'm going to send 35 messages and that's not going to return back to me void. God's going to bless the work that I put my hands to, and I'm going to get my 10 host posts up today. So guess what? I'm right. Whatever you think and believe in your heart, you're right. So if you want to change the things that are happening for you, change the things that you're thinking about yourself. Okay. All right. Love y'all so much. Thank you guys so much for